Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called Freakoffs, and he often electronically recorded them. The Freakoffs sometimes lasted days at a time.
It began like most modern scandals do, with a whisper, an anonymous lawsuit, a few cryptic tweets. Then the headlines exploded. Diddy accused of sex trafficking, bizarre ritual parties exposed, and finally, Jay-Z allegedly linked in new court filing. For a public that feeds on drama, this was pure adrenaline. Two of hip-hop's most powerful moguls now tangled in what some called the most explosive lawsuit in entertainment history. But behind the viral headlines lies a quieter truth, one built on facts, not fantasy. So today, we're cutting through the noise. We're digging into verified court documents, real legal procedures, and known timelines, not Reddit theories or fan speculation. Because if we're going to talk about Jay-Z's name being linked to Diddy's legal mess, we owe it to our audience to do it responsibly. Let's begin at the source. In November 2023, singer Cassie Ventura filed a bombshell lawsuit in New York against Sean Diddy Combs. Her accusations included years of sexual abuse, manipulation, and physical violence. Though the case settled in just 24 hours, it opened the floodgates. More women came forward, some filing lawsuits dating back to the early 2000s. Others claimed Diddy orchestrated freak-offs, exclusive, drug-fueled parties that allegedly involved trafficking, coercion, and unthinkable abuse. By March 2024, federal authorities, including Homeland Security, raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Helicopters circled, news vans gathered, devices, footage, and records were seized. As of May 2025,
typically the victim is lured into a situation where he or she is given a drink. Typically that drink, reported by these victims, is apparently laced with something. Once that drink takes effect, the perpetrators perform all kinds of sexual acts on the victims.
Diddy faces 6 civil lawsuits and remains under federal investigation, though no criminal charges have been filed publicly yet. Still, the FBI confirmed that multiple devices were under forensic review and that several associates and former employees were being questioned. Now, to the most controversial part, where does Jay-Z actually come in? Contrary to what social media claims, Jay-Z's name does not appear in any unsealed federal document, arrest warrant, or civil complaint related to the Diddy investigations as of this moment. The confusion started when one civil lawsuit mentioned powerful industry friends who enabled Diddy's behavior. No names were given, just references. And that's where internet detectives jumped in, making wild guesses based on initials, timelines, or event photos. A redacted section of one lawsuit listed an individual as Mr. C, and some speculated it referred to Carter, Jay-Z's last name. But legal experts quickly debunked that. Mr. C could refer to dozens of names, and without confirmation from court officials or unsealing of documents, no real journalist would make that leap. In the post-Weinstein era, society is more aware of abuse in powerful circles. But that awareness comes with a downside, a rush to judgment. People are hungry for a bigger fish. And when someone like Diddy is under fire, the public wants to know, who else was there? Jay-Z, with his billion-dollar empire and deep roots in music and business, becomes an easy target. Not because of evidence, but because of narrative. It fits the media formula.
Allie Carter told us about Diddy. Allie Carter has spoke out so much throughout the years and told us exactly how all of this is connected. The very first time she spoke out, she spoke about there being underground tunnels where she was moved through. And there have been a lot of rumors about Diddy allegedly having these underground tunnels that run to the Playboy Mansion. And the Playboy Mansion does have underground tunnels. Here is the blueprint of the Playboy Mansion that they made showing the underground tunnels underneath the mansion. And I blew this up a little bit more for you guys because back in the day, it actually led to celebrities' houses. Allie Carter has just made an affidavit of truth that she turned over to the feds against Diddy and other celebrities about how she was allegedly abused at a Playboy Mansion party. As you can see, here's Diddy's name here and others such as Birdman, Denzel Washington, and Young Jock. In this document, she speaks about how she was a party favor and how other children—
Diddy the villain, Jay-Z the silent co-conspirator, Beyonce the unaware queen. But this formula is fiction, unless backed by court-verified fact. Here's how it works legally. In any federal investigation, names of people who are not suspects or defendants are typically redacted, especially if they're public figures. This prevents defamation, character damage, and leaks of unverified information. So, if Jay-Z attended a party 15 years ago that was later found to be questionable, and there's no evidence of his involvement in any wrongdoing, the court will not publish his name. This protection is built into the legal system to avoid what's happening right now, trial by internet. Legal analysts also point out, being friends with someone doesn't make you complicit in their crimes. That's not how the law works. And unless prosecutors have proof of direct involvement, messages, payments, testimonies, there is no legal case to make. Jay-Z and Diddy's relationship spans decades. They've performed together, co-invested in business ventures, and even helped launch platforms like Revolt TV. But as of the past few years, their paths have diverged. Jay-Z focused on Rock Nation, criminal justice reform, and luxury investments like Ace of Spades. Diddy went deeper into nightlife and media branding. Though they remained friendly, insiders suggest they weren't as close as they once were.
Against Sean Diddy Combs has moved into its 7th day of testimony. Today, the former personal assistant to Mr. Combs, David James, returned to the stand. Jurors also heard from the mother of singer Cassie Ventura, Combs' ex-girlfriend. He has pleaded not guilty to all of those charges. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas is outside of the courthouse in New York City. Chloe, walk us through what has happened in court so far today.
Yeah, so Ellison, you talked about David James. He is somebody who worked for 2 years for Combs as a personal assistant, and he really pulled back the curtain on what it's like to work for someone like Combs. He said that sometimes his days would be 20 hours at a time, and he would work 21 days in succession with no breaks. And he talked about how he knew that he was signing up for a tough job, but he also talked about how Combs allegedly had him.
Think about that, man.
Still, their names are forever tied in the public's imagination. And that alone makes Jay-Z a target for speculation. Fans have also noticed Beyoncé's silence. The Carters, known for controlling their image, have made no public comment on the Diddy situation. Some say silence is suspicious, others say it's smart. Media lawyer Tasha Reynolds explains, if Jay-Z isn't named in the case, commenting publicly would give the false impression that he's somehow involved. His silence is actually a signal. There's nothing here legally, so we're not engaging. Let's be clear, if new evidence is released, real, verified, court-filed evidence, and Jay-Z is officially named, then the public has a right to demand answers. But until then, everything else is noise. And for a man who's spent decades building a brand on legacy, social justice, and economic empowerment, jumping to conclusions could cause permanent damage. In American culture, we often confuse proximity with participation. He was there, so he must have known. But history proves otherwise. Many artists have worked with people later exposed as predators. That doesn't mean they were part of it. And unless Jay-Z is proven to have enabled Diddy's alleged behavior, not just known him, he remains legally and ethically separate. Let's wrap up the facts. Yes, Diddy is facing severe legal pressure. Yes, multiple lawsuits describe horrific abuse. But no, Jay-Z is not named in any official complaint, deposition, or federal charge. Anything else is rumor, until a judge says otherwise. So, before we let the internet convict another man without evidence, maybe it's time we pause and ask, are we seeking justice or just drama? If this breakdown helped you see through the smoke and find the truth, hit that like button and subscribe for more professional, fact-first content. We're committed to covering stories responsibly, not for shock value, but for clarity. Have thoughts? Drop them in the comments. But keep it respectful and fact-based. And remember, when the next viral scandal hits, don't just believe it, investigate it. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and never settle for clickbait.
Working 20-hour days, 21 days straight with no break. Think about the stuff he has heard and seen. Think about all this is what I was talking about. This is what I've been waiting for. Because, you know, I know a lot of people are quiet because they probably were going to testify. And then there's people who are quiet because, you know, they're trying not to get on Diddy's bad side, allegedly. But this right here, I said bodyguards and drivers, and of course, personal assistants. These are the people who know the most, seen the most. Wow, boy,
So have him get prescriptions under his own name.
Okay, so sorry. I don't know if I can mention all the stuff he would get for Diddy, you know, stuff for Diddy to put in his body, but they were just saying that that's what he was doing. He was the one that was getting this stuff, and saying that, you know, now they're getting into the racketeering and all that. Because people were like talking about Cassie, saying all of this, yes, is DV, but this is not what he's on trial for. And hey, but wait, there's more. Now we starting to get into it. They said they were just laying the platform down.